live from New York. No, we are in Laguna Woods, and it's the Laguna Woods Show with your host and moderator, Esther Grossfield. Here's Esther.
Hi, welcome to the Laguna Woods Show, where every guest matters. Today we have a very special guest. She's an author and a humorist, and her name is Jan Marshall. Hi, Jan.
Hello. How
So
are
nice
you?
to have you here.
Well, I was in the neighborhood, so I dropped by.
You know, you've done so many things in your life, and I don't know where to start. So let's start with something that you created. You created the International Humor and Healing Institute.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was a newspaper columnist.
Yes.
And then an author, and I did a lot of motivational speaking. And a lot of people came up to me and asked how I could help them. They would give me problems and I would solve them, mostly with humor and hope and that. And I was contacted by a man named Norman Cousins, who was a wonderful, wonderful humanitarian and professor and author and editor and everything. And he had established that humor and hope healed people. So his assistant called me and asked me to come up and talk with him.
Yeah.
And we shared some techniques.
Yeah.
And after that, I formed the International Humor and Healing Institute. He was on the board. Steve Allen was on the board.
Yeah, Steve Allen. Then you had a show with him.
A whole bunch of doctors
Yes.
and celebrities,
Yeah.
including John Cleese, who said, I'll be on the board. He said it, of course, with an English accent.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't make me do anything I don't want to do. So I didn't and he didn't. But we used to help people in hospitals. We would go to schools. I spoke at Redlands University, humor and business. With women, it was humor and sex. Yeah. We had a lot of men in that class, actually. And so Steve and I became very close. I had a television show called Jan's Humor Place, and
Where
actually,
was it?
This was in the last century, really, before you were born, probably. Yeah, and he was a guest, and then I became a regular on his radio show, WNEW, and it was fun. Yeah.
So you like to write, huh? You like to write?
Yeah, I write several columns. I write for the Globe, as a matter. I write for the Globe. Yeah, whenever they can fit in, you know, a resident.
Yeah.
They have so many ads.
Yeah.
Which seems more important
Yeah.
to them. So I also write for a paper that we have here. It's not a paper exactly, it's online. It's called Village Independent News, and it's for residents, all residents.
Yeah.
You can write, you can send queries, you can do letters to the editor. It is for the residents, by the residents. So I want people to know about that. And I write for several other papers, Senior Correspondence, Irma Bombeck site, and also Sage News in Canada, of all things.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Can you tell us a little bit about, you have a certificate of hypnosis, a clinical hypnotherapist.
Right, yeah. Why don't you close your eyes, and then, now give me your password to your bank account. Yes, I do.
How did that come about? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I went to school and I learned how to be a hypnotic
Really?
person. Yeah.
And did you practice
Oh
it?
yes, I had clients, and I
Really?
even have them here as well.
Yeah?
I don't do that as often now. Mostly I write. I write books. I write columns.
Wow.
I write checks. That's it. Yeah.
Well, you wrote a book about fine humor, no matter what.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? I mean,
Well,
about the
it's a
book.
humor book. A lot of it were columns that I've written previously, and a lot of them are just about everyday hassles. For example, do you have an iPhone by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, then you've had experience with Siri. She's the virtual assistant that lives in the phone. She doesn't get me. Do you know what I mean? You're supposed to ask for anything you want.
Yes.
She will give you direction, she'll give you information. I asked for a Thai restaurant. Find
Yeah.
a Thai restaurant in Laguna Woods. She said, a shirt tie? I said, no, a tie. She said, shoe tie? Over and over, it was a tie for your shoe, a tie for the shirt, a tie. No, a Thai restaurant. After a while, it became too much. And so I asked for a bar mitzvah. I figured they had drinks there. And, so she and I are going for marriage. We're going for marriage counseling. Yeah, Sarah and I. We're trying to work it out. I don't want to have to see another phone. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow, sorry. Okay, so what are some of the techniques that people, any tips about people that they could be happy? Any techniques that you have?
Well, there's a whole bunch. There are, first of all, I think, especially here, there's a lot of illness, there's a lot of grief, there's stuff, and you have to heal.
Yeah.
You just have to take the time.
Yeah.
And if you are a friend, relative, or neighbor,
Yeah.
do not simply say, oh, can I do anything? Do something. Make dinner. Send a masseuse to the person. Maybe a hairdresser, or if it's a guy, somebody to shine their head or something. Do something. Have their car washed. Yeah.
Actually doing something instead of saying, can I do
Or you have a service, pay for a service where the food is delivered. Anything that will help. Yeah, we have to think about how it is when we were ill, if we were ill.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Actually do something instead of saying, what can I do
That's
for you?
exactly it.
Just do
Right,
it.
right.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And so the other thing is, if you have, look, say you're on a car and it's bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't do anything unless you can get off the
Talk
freeway.
to Siri. Talk to Siri.
God, we're not talking right now. See, Siri wants to borrow my car, and she'd like a coffee break. I don't have time for that. Do you understand that? Yeah. So this is what I recommend.
Yeah.
You accept what you can.
Yes.
You're in a car. It's a perfect time to sing. When your family hates your singing, I taught Edith Bunker how to sing. That's how bad. The way I never spanked my kids, but I said, if you don't behave,
I'm going to start singing.
I'm going to sing. And they, no, Mom, beat us. Do anything, please don't sing. Yeah, so what I recommend is always have something with you that can remind you to lighten up. So if it's in your purse, your attaché case, or in the car, either carry a rubber chicken, or a cooked one, or I don't know, right? Or a kazoo. A kazoo, you know about kazoo? Yeah. Do they have kazoos in Israel? Yeah. Okay, I think that's where it started, the kazoo. It sounds like an Israeli name, kazoo.
It's an Israeli name.
Yeah, Irv Kazoo, I think, started it. Yeah. And so that's what you do. You find a way just to get through something. You could even curse in your car if you want, as long as it's not violent. I don't believe in any kind of violence, except if you're at Nordstrom at a half-price sale and someone takes your parking space, forget it. I think it's appropriate, don't you? Not in your new car. You have a beautiful car.
So what kind of activities have you participated here in the woods?
I've done everything. As a matter of fact, I worked here. The pay was incredible. I'm telling you, I'm now in the top 1%. I worked at the Trading Post and the office. I had my own singles club. The progressive
you told me
singles.
about it. You ran your own clubs, huh?
Yeah. So
how many clubs?
Well, only one club that I ran, but you know, the wild rowdiness, the pregnancies that wouldn't stop. We had to close the shop. Yeah, the wild people, these people who live here. I also, I used to go to the gym a lot, and now I run. Well, I did. You don't believe that I run? Okay, I walk. But
You walk fast.
I walk very fast, yeah, from the recliner to the TV. But what happened was, just happened this last week.
What?
I was running near Clubhouse 3, and I thought I heard applause. But it turned out to be my thighs hitting together. What? I mean, anyway, but I was paid $5 to leave, so I think it's an important fact to know that I was probably the first person to turn flab into profit.
Well, you told me that you were involved with a lot of celebrities. I mean, you know,
Well,
you knew a lot of celebrities.
Yeah, don't
Can
say
you
involved.
mention-
Well, Sean Connery is still stalking me. Now it's a stalker on a walker, but still, yeah. No, when Steve Allen and I became very close, I had created the humor rooms for hospitals.
Yeah.
I designed them. And he gave me all his tapes and books and other things. And what happened is we were ready. We had met with the Santa Monica Hospital, with the chief of staff happened to have been a nun, a mother. She was, yeah, I don't know, a high mother or something. So. Yeah. And we were really ready to do it, and he was thrilled to know that it was going to be called, the first one was going to be the Steve Allen Humor Room, with humor tapes and books, and it was for the staff, the nurses, so they wouldn't rehash all the, you know, the pain that they see and work with. Instead of a coffee break, it would be a humor break. Yeah. Doctors would write a prescription for patients, so instead of just like a sitz bath or something, they tell them, which is kind of a funny thing. So they would go in the room for 15, 20 minutes, however long, and have that respite, because humor is a connection, and it heals. It heals your body, it heals your mind, and it takes your mind off other things that are unpleasant. And and mainly it would also be for the families, because if you notice, if you've ever gone to a hospital, you sit in the waiting room and it's green and dull and it's, you know, you're worried about things. Here you'd have a place to amuse yourself and to just a break. But so, what happened, he died. It was an unexpected thing.
Who?
Steve Allen.
Oh, yeah.
And so I kind of gave up that dream. But I sometimes think, we should do it at Saddleback.
That's
maybe
a good
the
idea.
Ellen DeGeneres,
you know, that's a
but
good
it
idea.
takes funding. Funding
it's
is not
funding,
what I have.
Huh?
I have chickens, I have kazoos. Funding I don't have. Yeah.
Okay. You met Phyllis Diller, and she wrote in one of your books.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we were going to do a book together. Yeah, well, we met. I was doing a show, I think it was Mid-Morning LA, and she was doing another one. We were in the elevator together, and I was holding my first book, which was called Still Hanging in There, Confessions of a Totaled Woman. You know, like total, yeah, like your car not your car. So she asked me about it, and we started chatting, and she thought I was funny, I thought she was funny, and we became friends. She made me lunch at her house. She showed me the gorgeous closet she had organized and all that stuff. And so she wrote a blurb actually for this book. This is the book.
This is the book.
It's called Dancin' Schmancin'.
Yes.
With the scars, finding the humor no matter what. And she wrote a blurb, and she was just great. And
was she funny?
She was so funny.
Yeah.
So, you know what I liked about her a lot? When she was funny without poking fun at someone else. It was never at anyone else's expense, except she would joke about her, you know, Fang, her husband. But that was just, excuse me, I'm gonna, okay, yeah. So, yeah, she was pretty great. And she had a lot of charity events at her home. We had lunch in Beverly Hills a few times. You know, she was a nice person. I liked her a lot. And
so, you are single? Have you?
not necessarily, but yeah.
Did you try
Yeah.
internet dating?
Oh, internet dating, I did.
Yes.
You know, you're supposed to pick out who you want.
Yeah.
So the first one, I wanted a tall, thin guy, right? And this one guy showed up on stilts. You know what stilts are? In the circus, they're wooden things. And he was a nice guy. I had to end it because I got splinters in my thighs. So that's not good. I dated a dermatologist. He sent me 6 long stem bottles of calamine lotion. I don't know.
Did you try to hint something? Was he hinting?
Yeah, no, that was his thing. His song was "I've Got You Under My Skin." We always had a dance to that. It didn't work out. I did meet somebody, and it really worked out well for a long time. And I remember once we were making love, and I whispered, I said, "What is it?"
I didn't know you were making love. Okay.
Should I use another word?
No, that's the right word.
And anyway, I whispered, "Are you comfortable?" And he, all of a sudden, with an accent, which he didn't have when we started, he says, "I make a living." And I laughed so much that I fell off the bed, and I hurt my back. So now,
Did he pick you up?
no, I'm dating my chiropractor now. He's such a manipulator, but he's a good guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So
He's got the right moves, you know what I mean? Oh, I have a hint for single women.
Yeah.
When you see a good-looking guy
Yeah.
you're married, so you're not interested, but I should tell the rest of you.
There's a
You
lot
see
of
a
single
good-looking
women out
guy,
there.
good-looking fella, you run over, you grab him around, you get him back and you wrap him around, and he says, "What the hell are you doing?" And you say, I'm doing the Heimlich maneuver. I thought you were choking. And you give him your card. And sometimes it works out, but if he's really choking, it doesn't work out.
Are you going to do it from the front or from the back?
We start with the back, you know. Maybe on the first date, you know. Although,
when
right,
you do the
exactly.
maneuver, you do it from the
I do
back.
it from the back. Yeah. And here's a hint. I think you should tell the women here who are single.
Yeah.
This is my belief. I don't know whether everybody's going to believe it, but don't let a man shave your back on the first date. I learned that the hard way. Anyway. So,
Okay.
what else would you like to know?
Okay, let's see. Do you like to invent things?
Oh, yeah, I do. I've invented several things, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the things that I invented was years ago when hitchhiking was a big thing. You could do it, and it was safe to do. And I designed something that looked like a thumb, and it was on a keychain, and it lit up. And it's really, I did.
Really?
Not a joke. But it was kind of funny when I had the molds made, and it looked like something else. You know what I mean? It had a phallic look to it. And the factory guy said, "What are you going to use this for?" And I tried to explain. But my kids used to take it to school. They would ride their bike, it was a fun thing. It was a good way to get the attention of a waiter in a restaurant. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Anything else?
But I truly invented something called Auto Talk, and I went to the Inventors Club, and I met this great guy there.
Yes.
His name is Robert or Richard get in touch with me. He said that he loved the idea, and he was a true inventor with machines and other things. But we lost touch. We both were not in the club anymore, and I cannot reach him. So if anybody knows a Robert or a Richard who has invented things, have them get in touch. I have a deal for you. Yeah.
So are you writing another book right now?
Yes, I am.
What about?
But this is the one I want to sell
yes,
now.
yes, yes,
yeah. Okay, the book I'm writing
Do you
now.
want to talk about that? I mean,
Sure, let's do it. Dancing Schmancin' with the Scars is really an easy read. It's satire. It's about all the little hassles in life. And, you know, like Siri, like weight.
Yeah.
I have a scale that hides every morning. You know, it's not an easy thing trying to find myself. And it's about finding the humor no matter what. And when I say no matter what, I mean no matter what. You have to take time for the grieving, for the healing, for, you know, all of us go through so many things, but particularly when, you know, our age, in our 40s, right? Isn't that? And I myself, I had cancer, I had a brain tumor, I broke a nail. It was, you know, just life's passages. And
so how did you deal with that?
well, mostly
How did you deal with
I cried.
your illness?
I mean, if tears had calories, I'd be a tall, thin blonde like you, but it doesn't work that way. I had to heal. I had to take care. I had a caregiver. And as one of the things we did was when my hair was growing back, it was this big, you know, like an inch.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be a blonde, you know, so she dyed my hair blonde, she bleached it. It turned out I looked just like Eminem, the rocker.
Oh my God.
And I wanted a tattoo, born to be kinda, maybe sorta wild, and I grabbed my crotch a lot, so it didn't work out. I went back to my natural mousy brown. Yeah.
Well, you look very nice.
Yeah. But so the point of the book is to find humor whenever you can.
No matter what.
No matter what. But not when you're going through the stuff.
Yeah.
You're not going to. You have to take the time for whatever it is to get through. And some things you don't get through. Look, here, there've been so many, you know, a lot of people die.
Yeah.
We're a little older here.
Yeah.
And you never get over the loss of certain things and certain people, and you have to know that. But as Rose Kennedy said, you know, you cover the scars a little bit. The scars cover your grief, and you can get through another day and another day. And that's an important thing for people to do, to understand that. Because if you notice, a lot of people will say, get over it, okay, it's been a year, or, you know, nobody knows your sorrow or what you've been through.
So I wanted to ask you the tips that you can give people that are going through an illness.
Yeah. Well, I think you should get funny movies, funny tapes, funny books.
And surround yourself with funny people.
That's it. You're not going to see dark. Like there's a new movie out. I haven't seen it, but it seems like it's a depressing at this time.
Don't mention names.
Okay, I won't. But the guy just won the Golden Globe as Best Actor, but I won't mention names. But that's not the time to see a dark, dreary.
That's right.
Heavy.
That's a good idea.
Lightness is what you need. Surround yourself with people like that, and also people who support you.
Yes.
You understand? It's really important. This is not the time to be with a relative who annoys you or something.
Right. Read funny books.
No, that's part of it.
Funny
if you can.
movies.
Yeah, something amusing or something lighthearted. It could be a musical. It could be something like that. The other thing I would recommend to most people is to, you know, you're going to keep a pen and pencil with you at all times and pretend that I am your boss and you have to report one funny incident every single day. And what happens is sort of like a gratitude list. If you write at night, the more gratitude you have, you find more and more things to be grateful for. And so I would suggest that anybody, even if you've never written anything before, have a pen and pencil or even on your phone, and just observe something silly today, and then tomorrow, or observed in some manner. And after a while, you'll notice that a lot. I mean, it'll be coming to you without you even knowing. You might even end up with a book. I belong to the Writers Club, so people can come to the Writers Club, and we'll help them with that humor. So that's the important thing, to focus. Whatever you focus on is what you're going to feel.
Yes, yes.
And so if you can,
yes.
But we have to be patient with those who can't at some time. When they are going through a rough time, it's not for us to judge whether or not, hey, lighten up. There are times
just say that.
Yeah.
They have to think about something that makes them happy. They have to
If
figure
they
out.
can, yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
thing is, they're not going to forget the grief or the person,
Yeah.
but there are amusing things about that person's life that they just lost. And they can think about that every once in a while.
They should
Right.
think about the good
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we had so much fun.
Oh, good. Is it over?
Yes, it's
Oh,
over.
wow.
It's so nice to having you here.
Oh,
And
thank
we
you.
had such a
I could
good
be
time.
back in a half hour. What do you think?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me here.
And thank you for watching. And next time we'll have another interesting person. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. That was lovely.